Hey traders, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. So a consolidation out there today with bears in control. There are broader market clues and correlations that we can keep an eye on. We'll look at those clues and we'll see where we stand bigger picture as lows are still nearby. So starting it off with the broader market, we can see the V-shaped bounce in the S&P 500. The bounce retracement is now closer to 60%, and we are closer to the all-time high than we are to the fear low. So fear has significantly alleviated. It's been significantly alleviated from the broader market in a big way. And we can see the last 3 days. I mean, look how similar we were to Bitcoin on the daily time frame, where we had the low, the high, the higher low, and then when we changed the daily trend, the bulls have not looked back 3 days in a row now, holding that strength. And if you compare that to Bitcoin on the daily time frame, let's do so here. Bitcoin on the daily time frame had that same tightening daily range. The bull break took place. Look at the last 3 days. I mean, it's a night and day difference, and it's clearly a bearish correlation between Bitcoin and the broader market. So we can say a number of things. Number one, well, it's a good sign that the broader market is not rolling over. We keep seeing morning consolidation, setting a higher low. This is the S&P 500 futures chart on the 4-hour. Morning consolidation sets a higher low, and then we see continuation. That's the good news for the crypto space. The bad news is we haven't seen any daily consolidation. We know it's inevitable, and the crypto space is not positioned well the next time that we see a red day in the stock market. So it's almost like Bitcoin is starting to lead the way to the downside, and we're seeing weakness today in growth names, the highest risk, highest reward places. This is IWM, the Russell 2000. We're red there. The biotech sector is big in red. The cannabis sector is big in red. So we're seeing the weakness in our highest risk, highest reward assets, and we certainly know crypto fits the bill as far as being part of that group. So highest risk, highest reward is being hit today. And every name that we're looking at now is not positioned well for any broader market consolidation. And we know that that broader market consolidation is inevitable very shortly. I was looking for it aggressively today and probably going to stop out here shortly. And part of those correlation clues. So woke up this morning and did the morning analysis. And at that point in time, looking on the hourly time frame, we were right about here. And both myself and ChartGuy Dinsey here, Bitcoin bulls struggling to recapture 39,000. Correlation with the stock market has been weakening. So we could see we are a lot weaker than the stock market. We're not positioned well. So we're not benefiting from stock market strength the last 24 hours. Dinsey says, considering the SPY bounce, Bitcoin's very weak. It's a growth name, certainly correlating with them today. And we are entering a heavy resistance zone for SPY. And if SPY stalls, Bitcoin is not set up well. SPY did stall just very briefly for morning consolidation, set that higher low and saw continuation. And Bitcoin, a much different outlook. Big drop, seeing the same bounce. And again, the correlation is there. We dropped at the same time and we're bouncing at the same time. But SPY's drop and bounce has us up here. And Bitcoin, obviously much different. So 4-hour rising wedge that was just on this chart was another reason that I was keeping an eye out for those bears. And it broke. So now, where do we stand? So 39,000 is still resistance for me. Yes, we broke it, but only by $300. So we broke it by less than 1%, and it's not convincing. So it's not convincing until 39,000 becomes clear support. Another factor, condense things. Look at the 2-day time frame. As far as I'm concerned, we're still in a 2-day downtrend. And at this point, it's a potential weekly bear flag. So again, if the broader market just keeps grinding up, it can be a very forgiving environment that can keep the bulls hanging around, because right now, Bitcoin, as long as we hold 36.6, it is still a daily higher low pattern continuing. But again, it's just not positioned well at all if the broader market takes a breather. So daily higher lows on watch. We got the hourly, we're scouting a lower high. Need more follow through if we're going to be looking for an hourly equilibrium. We got a 4-hour downtrend to be watching, and the daily higher lows are key. If we lose the daily higher lows, have to be cautious of a weekly bear flag. Dominance chart for Bitcoin, potential weekly lower high being set, but not really convincing at this point. So again, no information. This range will break at some point. It'll be notable to me when it breaks, but nothing notable until it breaks. Ethereum. So Ethereum was a lot stronger than Bitcoin. It had a 4-hour bull flag. It attempted to confirm it. We double topped and then rolled over. But looking at the 12-hour time frame, we're still in an uptrend. So what I did last video, I talked about how I entered a bull position on Ethereum at 2600, and I talked about why I did that in that video. And I exited half in the 2770s. And my reason for doing so was recognizing Bitcoin was stalling out at 39,000. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to be a little bit conservative because I'm playing counter trend. You know, we're in a weekly and a daily downtrend. So seeing that Bitcoin is struggling at 39,000, I'm going to sell half my Ethereum, because if I'm wrong, I'll leave money on the table in terms of selling a position I shouldn't have. And if I'm right, I will lock in gains. Bitcoin, I don't want Bitcoin to double top at 39,000 and reject. So sold half from 26 to 2770. My break even at this point on that trade is now 23.30. Nope, 24.30, something along those lines. So I'm still very comfortable in the trade, and I'm letting the remaining half play out on the 12-hour higher lows. So as long as we keep setting 12-hour higher lows, I'll hold this swing position and give the bulls a chance for some more follow through. Because again, if the stock market keeps this up and keeps pressure on bears, then it is possible that we maintain 12-hour higher lows. If we don't, Ethereum, also a weekly bounce. What's the 2-day perspective look like? Still weak there as well. So really what the alt bulls that have bounced more significantly than Bitcoin will be hoping for is that when we do see stock market weakness, if we do see it impact the crypto space, that we hold the recent lows and then see a bigger picture trend change take place. And obviously there's a lot of alts that are much better positioned than Bitcoin as far as how much space we have above the recent low. Bitcoin right now on the daily time frame, we can only drop 13% and then we're at support. And a name like Ethereum, and again, there's alts that are much stronger than Ethereum as well, but Ethereum has more space to work with, more like 20%. ETH BTC is another reason I'm keeping a half position. It's still strong as well. So it had a bull flag attempt, it confirmed, and it's a very significant bounce right now. So ETH BTC is keeping me in a half position, and we're looking for a 12-hour higher low on ETH BTC as well. Mana. So Mana USD, I like the 12-hour for clarity at this point, and it was a nice setup. First hourly oversold conditions coming off of a big-time daily bull move, and that hourly oversold aligned with 12-hour EMA 12. So we know we're scouting a 12-hour higher low, and we know to be watching for hourly oversold. I didn't make this trade because, again, anytime the stock market's open, I'm focused more on stocks than crypto because the fees are so significant in crypto comparative to free stock trading. So that's always where my focus is. I focus way more on the crypto space when there's crypto volatility and there's a lack of volatility in stocks. So I played, for example, you got this bounce on Mana, and it was a very nice bounce. Ended up 5.5% to the upside. I chose NIO, which was a bit less, but 3.5% to the upside, but used way more capital in NIO than I would have used on Mana due to fees, due to volatility. Anyways, we need an hourly trend change back to the bulls. We got a downtrending support line we can be keeping an eye on. Right there. As far as resistance, it would be more of a megaphone if we were to draw it from up here. We can keep an eye on that. But we need an hourly trend change. We need bulls to set an hourly higher low and confirm the hourly trend change to shape up the 12-hour higher low. And then the last thing the bulls want to see, they need to be cautious, because if we were to set a 12-hour higher low, fail the recent high, and then roll over, that would confirm a 12-hour downtrend. And the BTC pairing is doing the exact same thing, just slightly stronger, not even touching EMA 12 support yet. So still directly correlated, still in the spotlight. And again, the last thing the bulls want to see for both pairings would be that 12-hour lower high to be the result of this bounce. Let's see if Bitcoin has 10 minutes of bearish action. Yep, responding to SPY dropping the last 10 minutes. Atom. So Atom's got a 12-hour falling wedge I'm keeping an eye on. Bulls need the trend change, and it's also potential inverse head and shoulders here but we need to hold the low of 25.51 and break resistance of 29.87 if we are going to be seeing a momentum shift. Weekly perspective, I'm scouting a weekly high or low, which is why I'm scouting a 12-hour falling wedge. The longer term time frame is telling me scout a weekly high or low. Okay, what stands out to me? Potential 12-hour falling wedge. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. And the BTC pairing is very similar. It's trying for the 12-hour high or low. I couldn't draw a falling wedge that I like, but we're looking for a weekly high or low. And we have a clear 12-hour downtrend as our guide, and the 12-hour is trying to set a 12-hour high or low. So that's something I'm keeping an eye on. You know, sometimes I talk about all the benefits that the stock market gives us in terms of giving us nice clear signals this morning, giving us a heads up before the bear break. But it also can sometimes inhibit things, because right now, you know, normally if you show me this setup on its own, I'm keeping an eye out for a potential 12-hour high or low entry here. But knowing where Bitcoin stands, knowing where the stock market stands, I don't like that entry. Maybe it'll save me from money, but maybe it'll make me miss out on a trade. Tough to say at this point, but it's definitely impacting me being very cautious and not really wanting any more bullish exposure in the crypto space right now because bulls are not proven enough. There's a bunch of names also still in 12-hour tightening ranges. So I made a whole list this morning, but this is Matic. And again, low of the dump, high of the bounce, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, held support. So we have been tightening up within this range now for over a week. This is 7 or 8 days of just a 12-hour equilibrium. We know volatility is coming to this name and to any name that is still in a 12-hour equilibrium. So you can put that on a list, and whether you want to play off of a support or a resistance to position with a bottom fish or a top fish, or whether you just wait for the break. Matic is one, SHIB was another. Let's see if it's still within it. It is. So SHIB's got a 12-hour. Binance, 12-hour tightening up. AXS, 12-hour just barely broke bear. And that's about all I got on my list right now. One is really tight on the 12-hour. Zagarelli is correct. So keeping a close eye on these tightening ranges, knowing that they will break sometime within the next couple of days. Again, the tighter they are, the more we're going to see follow through when they break, in my opinion. So certainly worth keeping an eye on here in the short term. And any name that's still in a 12-hour equilibrium is definitely a weaker name, as the bulls have not proven anything on these charts. All right. Hope you're well. Do good things. Bulls definitely are leaving a lot to be desired, and they're not instilling confidence, which is what we have to see. How can we save things? We need to get right back up over 39,000 and turn it into support. And now we've got this uptrend resistance line to be keeping an eye on. So bulls have a lot of proving to do, and it'll be very telling for me personally to recognize, okay, how does crypto, how does Bitcoin react next time daily consolidation takes place on SPY and QQQ, which again is going to happen any day now, but not yet. Thanks again. See you soon. So we'll wrap up story time here with New England and the White Mountains, and then we'll get into more current recent stuff. I'll go over my garden game plan and we'll watch it grow before our eyes. But first things first, this is Baxter State Park. Oh man, mountain is slipping my mind. Someone's going to name this mountain. It's the end of the Appalachian Trail. If you start the Appalachian Trail in the south and you hike up north, this is the last hurdle to get through to complete the journey. And anybody that does that journey is absolutely insane and an absolute machine to pull that off. But go to the White Mountains and New England in the fall, as it is an incredible place. So an awesome hike up, and this is the trail. This is called Knife's Edge Trail to get to the top, and it's pretty sketchy. But it was a good time. I went with a couple of buddies, and this was just a short, overnight weekend stay where we did this hike. And then from there, headed back down to Maine, where I had worked on the farm for that season. So revisited back in Maine. Met some sheep friends. That's Timo, the guard dog. He is currently guarding sheep in heaven. And these are the two female dogs. That's Bear and that's Sobe, Australian Shepherds. Those are the ones that would always fight. I wonder, I wasn't there a whole lot once Timo moved in. He was a neighboring farmer's dog and they were moving. And I wonder if Timo kept them in line more. I'd be curious to know that answer. But the leaves changing and the landscape is just all color explosion. And really cool to go check out. And here in North Carolina, Western North Carolina, I would say it doesn't rival, but it's not a far second behind New England in terms of foliage in the fall. And these are 3 books that I read on my road trip up north. Hempbound, this was a really good one, just in terms of updated information about the legalization of hemp and how Canada had the head start and how the U.S. would need to learn a lot from Canada, who had, in the U.S., it was really, you couldn't even get cultivation equipment for hemp. It just wasn't even made. So it was very interesting watching the development of and obviously it's changed very much since then, but the hemp industry. And this is more on lucid dreaming and things of that nature. And always down for some Native American insight and knowledge. And that's another good one. Lame Deer Secret of Visions. And the other one is Black Elk Speaks as a good one. And that's that. So I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good day.